sessions, live interviews, the best for international music entertainment. Blackan Radio.
Okay, hello, Blackan family and friends. Konnichiwa and good afternoon from Osaka to all of you guys all over Japan and all over the world. This is Blackan Radio, and guess what, guys? Today we are celebrating the Black History Month. And those you don't know about Black History Month, it's an annual observance in many countries around the world. Basically, it started in the United States, in Canada, in the UK, and recently all over the world they are celebrating the Black History Month in February. And why it's February? Actually, I was asking myself this question: why February for the Black History Month? But it turned out that February was chosen to be the Black History Month because it coincided with the birthday of Abraham Lincoln on February 12th and Frederick Douglass on February 14th, and both of which they are birthday dates that the Black communities celebrate since the 19th century. And speaking about the Black History Month, the objective of this month is not only to celebrate the Black history, the Black people history and the African diaspora achievement, but it also to promote the knowledge about Black people, civilization and history. Because guess what? Many people, actually till now, they think that Egypt is not in Africa.
Right.
Yes. They think that Egyptian civilization is not African civilization. So basically it's to give people knowledge. The other thing is to disseminate information about positive Black contribution. So when we see what our people are capable of, we can think about what we can do. Yes. And thirdly is to heighten the confidence and awareness of Black people on their cultural heritage. So we can have a sense of what we are. So we have the sense of what we can be. And today I'm having three beautiful Black ladies from different places. And we are going to talk a lot about many things. We are going to talk about Black women history, Black women present, Black women future, and most importantly, because we are living in Japan, we're talking about Black women experience in Japan and how our skin color shape our experiences in such countries. So, hello ladies. Hello. So today I'm having Alice.
Hello.
Yeah,
yes.
From the US.
Yeah, and I feel bad for not knowing the exact origins of Black History Month. And I went to, my high school was named after Frederick Douglass, so I'm over here like, I didn't come ready. I didn't come prepared.
Yes, and also have the beautiful Shona.
Hi,
from Jamaica.
Yes, welcome everyone.
And I also have Dori from Tanzania, the East of African Queen.
Hello everyone.
So, ladies, let's talk about Black women in history. What do you feel about that? Do you feel represented in history in general as a Black woman?
Personally, I don't.
Okay.
In preparing for the show,
okay.
I Googled.
Ooh, okay.
I Googled so hard. I tried to find women who were spoken about loudly, about their contributions, about how they fought for our liberty, and it was difficult. It was really difficult to find. There were brief little snippets. Oh, she was there. She lived.
Okay.
She married someone who did something.
Oh, yeah?
But even I was searching for Jamaica, and I messaged friends to see if I was just ignorant, to see if they had more information about women and their contribution. And one of the only prominent ones I could find in Jamaica was one of our heroes, and her name is Nanny. We can't find a good image of her, one, and even though we have treaties that spoke to the actions she took for liberty in Jamaica, treaties that were signed, you still have articles written that are like, she was a little overrated. I'm like, wait, what? Don't we have actual legal documents that say, because of her, these treaties were signed in Jamaica. The British had to bow down to their will because of her and because of her leadership. And yet you have articles going, oh, you know, maybe Nani wasn't really all that involved. Her brother Cujo he was like a mighty man too. No. We're talking about Nani. We can talk about Cujo tomorrow or on his day. Let's talk about Nani. So even in an article about Nani, her brothers were highlighted. Wow. So yeah, I don't really feel the representation in history that much.
Well, what about you, Alice?
In my household, yes, for sure. My mother was very adamant about making sure we knew about Black history. We had the only children's books we had were about like Black children. There were no. I have to blame myself for bringing in the first white novels. I'm sorry, Mom. But when we were really small, she had all of these great books on like Black history.
Oh yeah.
When I think about it now, women not so much.
Yeah.
But I guess I didn't notice it because my mom was such a strong presence. So I'm like, well, she's there. So I have her. Well, now when I think about it, I'm like, there was a lot of George Carver and you know, peanut butter stories, but not really a lot. There's Madam C.J. Walker, but that's usually about where it starts and stops for women in Black history.
Yeah, I think women in general are not very represented in history of achievement or history in general. And when it comes to Black women, I think it's more deep problem. What about it in Tanzania, Dori? I mean, maybe in a sense of multicultural places, it might be more of a challenge. But what about it in the heart of East Africa? How about women in history?
I don't know. I think we also really don't get to learn more about this, like women in history and their contributions. But the only thing that we get to, to hear and read from the internet and all, maybe the women who are still existing and who are doing great things, like very dedicated to whatever they're doing, like Oprah Winfrey and all that. But personally, I really don't know so much about women in history, and because we don't get to learn since when we were young. We just learn history in general.
This is the thing. I didn't see any Black woman figure from my own region. For me, like Black woman figure, maybe Oprah.
Yeah.
But Oprah for me feels so far. Like I don't find, or I never found an example that I can relate.
I think that's exactly the problem. Yes. Because we really don't get to see people around us. We just only read from the internet and all that. So it's very hard to connect. Yeah. So the only thing we see or we learn is, not so much about history, but at least like Black women who are still existing.
Yeah. So about Black women now in Jamaica, Shona, how do you see them?
Well, Jamaica is a very strange country.
In what sense?
In that we are
I know it's fun.
Emotionally mature
in
some aspects, like really emotionally mature, and then just puzzling to me in other aspects. So, for instance, we've had 12 years now, we had our first female prime minister. So initially it was, oh my God, she's a woman. How will she ever do the job? And that is impossible. And except she's experienced. She's been doing similar jobs for a very long time. She was our Minister of Sports and Culture. Yes. She was involved. She was active. She was what you call grassroots politician, like people related to her. And yet even women were like, but can she? Menopause, lady problems. And then, so she did 2 years, and then something happened. The opposition party attacked her womanhood. And that was a big mistake. The entire country was like, I'm sorry, women have been running the household forever. The country is just a bigger household.
It is.
We can do this.
Definitely.
And she won triumphantly because you could feel it every day in the streets, in a taxi.
Yes.
The conversation was so political, and it was so, how dare you Like, we have had single mothers doing it for a very long time in Jamaica. Women are capable, women are strong, women are... And that was beautiful. And she won. And then she was doing the job. And all throughout her tenure, people kept saying, oh, she didn't do this because she was a woman. Oh, when she spoke passionately.
They blame everything for being a woman.
When she spoke passionately, she was emotional.
Yeah.
She wasn't decisive. And, you know, there were so many memes about her.
Yes.
Her speech and her speech pattern. And, you know, she's so loud and she's so vulgar. And but never about the men. And it's such a strange dynamic, right? Because on one hand, we're like, woman power. And there was a slogan, it's woman time now in Jamaica. That was a legit slogan. And even in that spirit, even in that atmosphere, there was, you can't do the job because you're a woman. So it's really odd. It's conflicting for girls growing up, because are we capable? Are we not capable? You know, unless you have a strong personal woman in your life, you can end up feeling that you're not capable. You can.
Yeah, I think the gender issue or the gender roles in general, maybe people are not, they don't speak about it a lot, but it comes in all shapes, and it comes in at all levels, from school, at work, from very minor microaggressions everywhere. It really affects us so much. I'm not sure how about it in the United States. I mean, we figure the United States as a place of, you know, it's a place in which it should not be a male-dominant society, I mean, by definition. So how is it? Girl, tell us.
Because I'm here in Japan, when I think of America, I think it's very forward. Because, you know, in Japan, women's rights, just women's recognition in Japan is so low that when I think of back home, I'm like, nah, we're doing great. But then when I actually think about it, you know, we had a recent mishap last year with an election. Was it last year?
What happened?
Not last year. The year before. It's been a year. It's actually, this very nice woman ran for president. She was experienced. She had years of experience, great resume. She was really cut out to run the country. But this white guy showed up, and he was like, I'm a white guy, though.
Oh, yeah?
So everyone was like, yeah, he's a white guy. He's got a point. He's got a point. He's a white guy. So when I saw that go down, and I just saw the amount of anger from mostly white dudes, but also some black guys about how she's done all these, she's made all these mistakes in her position, so we obviously can't trust her. I'm like, you're gonna trust a guy that's never done the job before over a person that has experience dealing with like political foreign countries, and it just
and how cool would be that, like the first black president and then the first woman president. That would be so cool.
I genuinely thought America was gonna do that. I thought they were gonna be like, look at us. I genuinely did.
It was a quiet day in the office because my office is mostly non-Japanese people at the time. It's changing now. And we were all on Google. We all had like the map open of the United States, and we just saw states slowly going red, and we're just like, this can't. And just by like 5 o'clock, everyone's like,
But then, what kind of message? What kind of message is that going to give to young girls? What kind of message?
Luckily, I think we have localized, very strong power, like strong groups, strong grassroots groups that will support women. So there's a lot of scholarship programs, there's a lot of community programs to help women. At my school, I remember having a lot of strong female teachers, more so than male teachers. And it wasn't even like there were people fighting for power. Everyone was working together. We had a female principal at my school. So in my community, it wasn't strange to see a woman in power. And I think in smaller communities, and not even smaller communities, but even just in cities like, you know, LA or New York, where these big multicultural centers, it's not strange for them to see women in power. So they can hopefully teach the younger people, you know, run for office, and don't be afraid, even though there's still some crazy white guys out there. We still have the power, we have the numbers, there's more young people, so, you know, it's starting now. It didn't end, it's just starting now. So to, like, keep going. I think that spirit is strong in the States.
Yes. Me coming from Sudan, I am very familiar with male-dominant societies in East Africa. But how about it in Tanzania? How about our Tanzanian brothers? Is Tanzanian society, it's a male-dominant society?
Yeah, it is.
In what sense?
I mean, men really have power, but we still have we have like small movements on like women empowerment and all that, and it's really I mean, it's something that we see it happening, like women are being empowered, encouraged to like to participate in like different things, like oh, you can do this. If a man can do, you can also do that. So it's something that it's really there, and but still like generally the society is like based on towards men's side.
But you as a Tanzanian lady, you are pursuing your high education, you are going to go back to Tanzania, you want to have to build a career, you want to lead a strong life. How do you see yourself in such society?
I actually see myself as a successful lady, as in like we still have opportunities for women.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's only that when you try and like you do it, you really dedicate yourself, you can do it. I mean, there's we really have so many movements on women empowerment, and women have like a lot of opportunities for sure. It's only your hard working will take you there.
Yeah, this is the thing. We have a lot of movement of women empowerment in Sudan, and as a black woman, I have a lot of opportunities out there to promote myself and to study more or to do work or whatsoever. But when I go back to my society, I'm a 30 years old woman. I'm not married. This is a failure. I'm a failure.
Yes.
So in my society, despite the fact that like my society pushed me to go to study, pushed me to be a medical doctor, push me to be a PhD holder, they celebrate that. But at the same time, they see me as a failure. So it is this conflict in the society that I just can't understand. What's your take about that?
Yeah, it's for me, it's very similar, right? The Jamaican dream, like the American dream, the Jamaican dream is to go out into the world, to see the world, to make it big, to come home, build that grand house, have that beautiful car and that business, and just not work ever again. That's the island.
It's a beautiful dream.
Yeah, it's the island dream, right? So for me, going out into the world, I'm all the way in Japan. I don't speak the language. I went out on my own. I'm here doing it. And, you know, it's like...
And it's hard.
Wow, yeah. And people are like, wow, I'm so impressed by you, so inspired by you.
But...
you can't go back. Like, literally, I've been told, you can't go back to God the way you came. Meaning... Ain't you gonna have some babies? Like, what are you waiting on? Are you not gonna, like, you're not getting any younger? I've been told, you know, women expire, right?
Oh, yes. Wow. I have been told this a lot.
Yeah, I also wanna add on that. Yeah, it's very true, actually. We, as I said, really have, like, women empowerment movement and stuff. But, for example, a person like me, like, if you just go home, the only thing that takes us back, I think it's like what the society expects us to do. Like we are expected to do something already. So, for example, you might have many plans, like very, very big plans that you really want to do as a lady. But when you go back home, my mom will be like, you know what, you need to get married now.
This is what I'm talking about.
I mean, you know, you're carrying it's just like, you know, those things. Not really in a bad way, but still that in one or another might really, you know, affect you.
Wow. Okay, I'm married. So this is it.
What about the babies?
They've given up. I've been married for 8 years. So no one really mentions it when I go home anymore. They're just like, you're back. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, okay. And the conversation kind of ends there. But I feel like in American society in general, these days, being financially stable is more of a concern than marriage. So I do have friends that get married, but I also have friends that don't worry about marriage. And I don't feel like it's a big topic of conversation so much anymore. Maybe not like it was 20 years ago when my mom was my age or younger than me. 'Cause we got married the same age, actually.
Really?
The only difference is she started having children like right after she got married, and I said no.
But isn't there the underlining thing, especially in the corporate world, because I felt it, the underlining, you're gonna need maternity leave. How much can we invest in you? You're gonna, you know, you're gonna have women time, women issues. How much can I invest in you as a corporation when you're getting to be 30, you're getting to be 31, you're gonna marry, or you are married, you're gonna start a family.